Hey everyone, welcome back to the Live with JM podcast. Today's episode marks the start of a lot of new things to come, and I am very excited. It's not like we're doing a complete overhaul of the podcast, but we're definitely changing some things for the better, and that's all thanks to our friends over at SA Pod Network. That is actually going to be the podcast that we were featured on. I believe that episode is going to come out in July, according to the host, Zachary. Real nice guy. I am extremely grateful for the invite onto his podcast, and we hope you guys enjoy that episode whenever it comes out. We'll be sharing all of his links and all that stuff and letting you know, of course, when and where you can find that episode. But I'm really excited. Babe, how do you feel?
Oh, it was really fun when we were on that podcast. That is the first time we had ever been, guests.
Yeah, it was. And it was kind of nerve. I feel like we weren't completely ready. I think there were times where the conversation wasn't as natural as it probably could have been, but definitely I'd say near the midpoint of the episode, we really just started to have a nice conversation. I think the beginning, we just kind of dived into it. I thought he was going to be like, okay, like how we'll start recording and we'll have the podcast actually recording for a little bit before we start. And then I just cut out the beginning and he was like, all right, and we're recording. Hey, welcome guys. And I was like,
it was really fast paced.
Yeah.
It was different from what we were used to, but overall it was really fun. The beginning was kind of like, oh, we're all kind of nervous because it was the first time we were guests, and it was the first time he had us on the show, and he's used to having other people on there, but not other podcasters, which is something that he said. So I feel like we were all kind of like scared a little bit.
Yeah, it was a really great learning opportunity, and I'm excited, not only because it kind of introduced us to a fellow podcaster, but not just through text. We actually got to have a conversation with one and talk about his podcast, our podcast, and other topics that y'all will hear in the episode whenever it's released. It was a really cool experience, and I'm just excited to be on other podcasts and to potentially feature other podcasters here on our podcast. And speaking of that, we're actually going to be on another podcast.
Yeah, the other, what would I call them? Like podcaster? I don't know.
Podcaster.
Fellow podcaster. Okay.
Yeah.
They had made a post and it was like, oh, looking for couples.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, hey, look, we're a couple.
Yeah. Because they actually follow us on our Live with JM account on Instagram, and we followed them back. And when he posted, I actually reached out to him, and he was like, yeah, I'd love to have you on. And now we have a recording date set in July. So I don't know when his release schedule is. Usually we like to record a week before the release of an episode. But clearly in the case of SA Pod Network, Zachary, we had recorded a few weeks ago, and that's not getting released till July.
So he's very much ahead of the game.
Yeah, he likes to record in advance, and I don't know how. Let Me Be Frank, that's the name of this podcast that we're going to be on. The host is Frank, and so real cool guy. I've listened to a few of his episodes before, and I'm excited to be on his show, and or for us to be on his show. And yeah, of course we'll release all the information about that, but I mean, it's crazy. Like, I feel like we're really getting out there and being embraced as a legit podcast, and it feels awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun. I will say also it does make us feel legitimate.
Yeah.
And not just two college kids recording in someone's room.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I think we've definitely stepped it up. And that's another thing we'll kind of get into here, but the actual recording setup, I think, has finally reached a point where it is very professional. We have two boom arms, a couple XLR microphones. Now we have a shelf and some like black canvases on the wall that you can't see right now, but we'll definitely kind of post on our Instagram story just so you can kind of get an idea of what it is that we're working with here. And now we have a new Behringer UMC audio interface, and I think it's working out really well. I think the quality is really good, and to my knowledge, it has cut out that weird squeaking noise that was present in the past two episodes. So I'm extremely excited, not only for us, but for y'all, for the quality to be stepped up. I'm super excited.
quality has gotten a lot better from our first one. We were only using one mic. I think Julian mentioned that before,
Yeah.
like in a previous episode. We were really close. Like
Yeah.
when we would record, our knees were touching the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like I move my feet when I sit down, and he would like hold my leg sometimes because it was hitting his knee.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we're just like, we're literally a table apart, and it's so weird.
Yeah.
To just record.
Feels awesome. I'm so excited. This is just like what I've been dreaming of. And it took time. It took money. And,
oh, buddy. Can y'all hear that? That is, I think, Flaco.
Oh, yeah. That's the dogs. You know what? If you want, go ahead and let them in. I don't think it'll really pick up any of the outside noise we got people working on our floors actually downstairs, my parents. They're getting the floors redone. It sounds really nice. But yeah, my dogs are upstairs because it's too hot outside for them. It's like 98 degrees outside right now.
Oh, their little paws outside.
Not only their paws, but they're flat-faced dogs. And so they heat up really quickly. But they hear our voices right now. So, babe, you can go ahead and open the door.
Okay,
it's fine. All right, she's going to go ahead and open the door and let them in. Hopefully they don't make too much noise that the mics pick up. But the whole purpose of today's episode, or kind of that step in a new direction that I was talking about at the beginning of the episode, is that when we were on SA Pod, or the SA Podcast Network with Zachary, he was kind of talking about our niche. You know, what is our niche? Have we found a niche? Are we still trying to branch out? Are we still trying to figure out, you know, what it is that our podcast is truly about? And yeah, go ahead and leave the door open. And so now the dogs are inside. Chewy's out here, my bulldog. He's sniffing everything. Oh my gosh. All right, go ahead and move away from the laptop, please. All right, so yeah, so when we were on his podcast, he was kind of asking about, you know, what exactly is our niche, and have we niched down, or are we kind of
watch your coffee cup, no. He's trying to drink my chai latte.
Oh my gosh. You can put it in more if you want.
Okay, you're right.
Okay, so come here, Chewy. So there's my pug, Flaco. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
They want to be in the podcast right now.
They want to. Y'all want to say hi? Here. Can you hear them? Now they're quiet.
Why did I think they were going to bark? I was like, say hi, guys.
Okay, so yeah, basically, when we were on his podcast, he was asking about our niche, and we didn't really have a niche. And we had discussed this before, how if we really want to grow our audience, we need to niche down or niche down. I don't know however you say it.
I say it both ways.
I think both ways are okay. And we kind of came to the conclusion, actually, during the episode, that we have an audience that I think hasn't been tapped into completely. You know, there's tons of podcasts out there ran by people ages, 25 to 30 to 40 to even older. And while there is definitely a popular
appeal to them,
there's definitely a popular appeal to them. There is that age group that we're in, from 17 to like 22, that I don't think has been tapped into as much as the older generation has. And so that gives us the opportunity to create relatable content that hopefully will speak to people. Talking about our relationship, we have that. Talking about going through school and college right now, it's a very different situation than people have
previously had to experience.
Yeah, like even 5 years ago, we're going through a completely different situation. And, going from high school to college during a pandemic and trying to figure out who you are and, what the purpose of life is, and, how to figure out that career that speaks to you, not only financially, but also something that you're going to be happy doing. Things like that is what we are going to start focusing on this podcast. Obviously, we're still going to have a good time, and we're still going to have those kind of goofy episodes, or the ones that, don't really follow a specific pattern, but we do want to niche down into that.
Yeah, we want to incorporate some things that are just, experiences that we are going through right now.
Yeah.
But, a bunch of other people in our age group are also going through things that can be more relatable.
Yeah. And so that's the overall goal. And we already have lots of episodes planned out, and we're going to stick to those planned episodes and really follow through with them, and hopefully bring some good relatable content, and maybe even content that you can learn from, or content that you can look at as inspiration, or, a different perspective on something that you were thinking. Because, right now, our age group is going through these changes, trying to figure out their lives. And I think it was made even harder just because of the pandemic. And just in general, I think we're all looking for advice. I'm always looking at YouTube videos or podcasts to seeking financial advice, because I want to set myself up already financially to be well off, but figuring out what is going to make me happy in the long run. What is it that I truly want, and how do I get there?
Yeah. And I think that's something, you know, people in our age group and people who have obviously already have gone through that had to experience. But it's different because, you know, we didn't actually go to college and meet people in our school or in our classes that were going through the same thing. Obviously, we have friends, you know, the people who we've graduated with or work with that go through that, but not in the same school as you. And we're in like completely different schools now.
Yeah.
So there's these other people that are going through similar situations that are closer to us because of our, our degree.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully y'all enjoy this kind of shift in content, and we hope that we can bring quality and to this what would you call it, topic. Hopefully we can bring some quality content centered around these topics that y'all will really enjoy and that y'all will share with others. But other than that, another thing that we want to address too is our live episodes.
Oh, yes.
So we had stated in previous episodes, and I think even the last episode, I said that we were going to do a live episode here in June.
But
that's getting
June
postponed.
Came and went really fast.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. It's been such a busy month, it feels like, and there's so much more that is going to go into these lives than we had originally anticipated. So we're going to go ahead and postpone those. Right now, we have it slated for July, but I'm not going to make that promise. I'm just going to say that's where we're aiming for, but definitely some point during the summer, we're going to figure this out. But there's a lot more to it than we had originally thought. So we are going to work on that and hopefully get those out sooner than later. And we're excited for those because we have been wanting to do that. We want to live up to our namesake. Yeah. But there is we already kind of have the space for it, the background. You know, we got a nice shelf that I made and mounted to the wall. We got these black canvases, nice table, nice mics, and we got some chairs now.
We got a little plant.
Got a little fake plant that really just brings the whole setup together. So I think we have everything visually ready. It's all about equipment. So video equipment, figuring out how to hook up the microphones to whatever video capturing device that we're using. Mm-hmm. And then
which will probably be our phones, most likely.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. I think now with this new audio interface, I think there's a way that we can do that. And once we figure that out, then it'll just be about editing and figuring out some sort of editing software. Because right now we actually use a audio recording software called Audacity, which is a free software. Works great for us, hasn't let us down. And I just don't know if there's a equivalent for video editing. We might have to, Marisol might have to take over that because she actually has or not take over that, but I'm going to have to use her laptop because she has a MacBook.
I was like, take over. I was like, you're the tech guy. What are you doing?
I'll still do the editing, but I'm going to need her laptop because I use a Windows laptop. And if you have any good free video editing software that y'all use, go ahead and recommend it to us, through DMs in Twitter or Instagram, because I'm still looking around. But if not, we'll just have to use iMovie.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I'm going to cut you off. But you know what would be so cute?
What?
For our YouTube videos, you know how obviously you said we were going to go live on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we'll go live on YouTube.
But the recording part of those, oh my goodness, we should create an intro. That would be so cute. See, Chewy agrees.
Yep.
Did you hear that?
He's agreeing.
Chewy wants that, or he wants scratches. But
yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah. I think we should do that. That would be so cute. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you before I forgot.
We definitely can do that. Yeah, like as far as like the live portion goes, obviously we can't. Well, I think there's a way, like how Twitch streamers, they have those. I don't know. There's so much to figure out.
All I know is that through YouTube, you're able to like assign a time that you're going to go live.
Yeah.
And then it does like the countdown for you in its own.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Chewy just smacked your hand like, give me that hand.
I know. Oh my goodness. Speaking of, today I was hugging Scout or trying to.
Yeah.
And he was on the sofa and obviously I'm taller than him. So I was like hovering over him.
Yeah.
And I was going to get lower to give him a little kiss, on the head.
Yeah.
And his paw went up and he pushed me away. And I'm like, what the heck?
Oh my
He
gosh.
doesn't want my love. And I kept
He was
trying
like,
to do
"Fuck
that.
you."
I know. And I was like trying to move his arm. He like made it straighter. And I was like, oh,
Oh my gosh.
so someone's being a jerk
He was
today.
just stiff arming you.
Yes. And I'm like, Chewy wants my love all the time. Like
Oh
he
my
begs
gosh.
for my hand. And I'm trying to give you a kiss and you don't want it. But
Man.
okay. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of right now.
Jeez. He's rolling on the floor now.
I know.
All right, but
They're
yeah,
so
so
cute.
those are the plans for the live episodes. Obviously there's still a lot to figure out, but those will definitely come around at some point. And then other than that, I mean, school's going to be starting up here in August, and I know it's still June and we still have all of July and like half of August. So we still got quite a bit of summer, but we are already planning. We're going to keep the same release schedule every other week for regular episodes. And then at one of those in between weeks is going to be our live episode.
Yes.
And so that's going to be the plan. And the live episodes are going to be uploaded in full onto our YouTube channel as well. So even if you don't catch the live, you'll still be able to watch it, later on. And so that's the plan for that. As far as any other goals we have for the podcast, was there anything else?
Definitely step up our social media game.
Yeah, I think not necessarily step up because I think we're doing good posting. We have
it's
pretty good
the
quality
pictures.
posts. I think our pictures we need to step up. We're not very good at taking pictures.
Guys, we cannot take a picture individually or together.
Yeah.
Like we do the awkwardest things. We can take selfies, no problem.
Yeah.
But if you want us to stand in front of somewhere, oh my goodness, Chewy. And then like take a picture, we cannot do it.
Yeah, no, it's
so weird.
We're trying.
Like we can do it off camera. And then someone pulls out a phone and it's like, nope, I don't know what happened. Like I can't stand here and smile for you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's like we're talking to each other. He's like, why are you ignoring me?
I know, he's so sad. He's like looking at us like, hello, do y'all not see me?
Oh my gosh. No, yeah. It's so definitely stepping up the picture game. And then also another thing, reaching out to more creators. Now that we're being featured on these two podcasts, I feel like we need to reach out more. We need to get on more podcasts. We need to feature more people on our podcast and really branch out and kind of grow.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for when we hit like our goal of like 1,000 listeners or like 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
And then we can like get smaller podcasters on our show and like give them more of an audience.
That's what we're really hoping for, because right now we're that little podcast that's trying to reach out and grow, and eventually we want to get to that podcast that can feature people that were in our shoes at one point. And so that's the goal right now. Short term, we're just trying to get to 100 followers. We're almost there. We're at about 70 followers on our Instagram, so definitely share and recommend to others who would like to follow. Sorry, Chewy's out here whining. He wants scratches on his back. Look, there he goes. There he goes.
He just wants attention.
Yeah,
but yes, y'all should definitely recommend us to other people.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the future growth of our podcast. And right now, we're averaging about 20 to 50 listeners an episode. Over the course.
That is a big gap.
Or it takes a month to get there though.
Oh, you're right.
On the first week we'll get like 10 or 15, and then by the end of the month that episode will have reached about 20 or more listens. So nothing exponentially crazy. Our first episode though has a lot. I think it has almost 100 views already. So everybody's clearly listening to the first episode, which is kind of awkward because I don't think our first episode really is a testament to how exactly the rest of the episodes have gone.
Yeah, we've definitely gotten a lot better.
I think we have.
Personally,
for sure.
I have gotten a lot better. But yeah, so if you recommend, tell them to start at the most recent.
And work their way backwards so they can see how much better we've gotten.
Yeah.
Hey, I still want to rack up the views on the other episodes.
Okay.
Don't
I was
skip
like,
those.
just don't listen to them.
Don't start at the first episode.
Yes.
Or our trailer. I feel like we need a new trailer. Like compile audio from our other episodes and then use that as the trailer, because right now our trailer is announcing our first episode release, and it's like that shit already came and went.
Yes. We definitely need a new one.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to get to, but in time. I don't think there's a rush for anything, but I'm excited. I'm eager.
Yeah, I'm just so thankful that Zachary gave us an idea of like where we could go. And obviously he was like, oh, like I'm not pressuring y'all to be that. But it's like, it was very insightful and it seems really fun for us to do just because we can relate to that. And I don't know. It's really exciting to have something to work towards.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think we kind of have a better sense of direction for where we want to take the podcast because we already kind of knew what we wanted to get to, right? But we didn't really know how to get there. We didn't know the details of it all. And now I think we have a really good idea and I'm super excited. But I mean, other than that, I don't think we had any other major goals. I mean, we're reaching out. We're not reaching out. We're gonna hire a freelance artist to design us a new logo. So that's really cool. A much more professional looking logo because the ones that we've made in the past all have been on Canva. They haven't been bad.
Yeah, but we're not artistic in that sense.
Yeah, I'm by no means a digital artist. And so we need to hire somebody to do that. And we've been looking around and we think we found some really solid people that could do the job. It's just all about taking a picture for inspiration because we want like a cartoon caricature in it. And then some really cool looking visuals. So since we're taking this podcast a lot more seriously than I think we have been, I think it's time we really step up our logo design and have something more professional and presentable, you know, that'll really catch the eye of the viewer. Because that's like the first thing that they see before they even listen to a trailer, listen to an episode or anything. They see that logo. And so we need to really hunker down and have something that's going to be like, holy shit, that looks awesome. I'm going to give that a listen. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I don't know why he started barking.
Started barking at us.
All right. For those that are still here, I went ahead and cut a little portion of the audio out because Chewy started barking out of nowhere. I have no idea what that was all about. But yeah, okay, we're back. And yeah.
I think he just wanted scratches.
Honestly, I don't know because he just like walked away and then started barking. I think it's just really weird for him because we're having a conversation right now and he's like, why are y'all talking so much? I never see y'all talk this much.
Oh, yeah. Usually we just hang out, have little conversations here and there. But we're like chilling.
Yeah, I think he's just weirded out by the whole situation. And
he's
it's like
stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah, because we're talking into these microphones and I have a laptop here and we're sitting kind of far from each other. And he's just like, what the fuck is happening?
He's like, is there tension? Do I need to fix that?
Yeah. Damn. Oh my gosh, it's only been 22 minutes. I feel like we've been talking for way longer.
We've talked about so many things.
Yeah, we just have such a good flow now, I think, to the episodes that it doesn't take us 50 minutes to talk about one thing, you know?
Lol, LOL. Why did I say the same thing twice? But yes, we do have a better flow.
Yeah.
I think.
But those are the goals for the podcast. The larger goals, any small term things that will come and go, we'll definitely get to and we'll handle in the background. But we hope that you're excited for it as much as we are. Aside from that, how have you been, babe?
I've been really good. Dang, there was something I was gonna say, but now that you asked me, I like totally forgot.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh, what was I gonna say? I really can't remember. Oh, okay. So in a previous episode, I mentioned how my job was stressing me out.
Yeah.
I think because I was new, but it's been a month now, guys, and I'm doing a lot better. Don't get me wrong. Every time I go in, or sometimes I still get a little bit of anxiety because I don't know what customers I will get. Yeah. But I think overall I'm doing good. Yesterday we had so many people come in.
Yeah.
And I will say I handled it a lot better than I would have the first time.
Nice.
So I just wanted to say that. Because it's like a big thing. Yeah. It was the most stressful part because school's already out.
Yeah, it's important to learn how to really de-stress situations. In terms of angry customers or customers that are upset or just handling that. You know, not even necessarily diffusing the situation, but just you yourself mentally being able to handle that. It's good to learn how to do that because I think any job you get into, there's going to be somebody, whether it's a coworker or a customer, that's going to get upset, and you need to learn how to handle that situation mentally because, man, it can fuck you up if you're not used to it.
Yeah, and honestly, it didn't really mess me up.
Yeah.
It was just more of the computer side of it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know where all the buttons were. And now looking back at it, the buttons are very easy to where they are.
Yeah.
But it's like at the time, there's also like 2 other things you have to be doing during that time that
Mm-hmm.
you're putting stuff in. And then what if someone needs help and I'm one of those people that wants to help them, but I feel like I'm still kind of slow in that aspect,
Really?
especially rolling a burrito. But I've gotten better at that too. Abby actually is the one who taught me how to roll a burrito properly. So thank
Shout out
you.
to you, Abby.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I think overall it's getting better. Some
Yeah.
days I am slower just because I'm sore
Really?
from working out. Because I go at the end of the day. And by the time that I actually go into work, my body is already relaxed. And it's like, oh, you really pushed us today.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man, that's crazy. But I mean, I think you've done way better. You've gotten way better at handling the stress of your job. It's not like it's been like this insane amount of stress, but you weren't used to it because you'd been out of the job for like a year, right?
It was like 2.
It was like 2 years.
Because my parents didn't want me to work senior year.
Oh.
And I didn't work
Oh,
freshman
yeah,
year.
you
Because they didn't
didn't.
want me to work freshman year either.
I totally forgot.
Honestly, they just didn't want me to work. They wanted me to be a dependent my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, I
Yeah.
think it was like what your mom said. It's like once you start working, it's kind of hard to just stop. Like you once you start, you just don't stop until retirement.
Yeah, and I think it's because she had to start so young.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't want that for you because she's never stopped. Like,
Yeah.
she's never had the opportunity to stop. And she was like, you have the opportunity. Like, please don't work.
Yeah.
And she was like, just clean the restrooms and I'll give you money. And I was like, what? Why?
Yeah. I think it's all about stress management and time management, just figuring out a good balance between the two. Because there's some people, and that's the thing too. You got to realize, like, thankfully, we both are in a situation where we don't really need to work 40 hours a week in order to sustain our style of living, because
Yes.
our parents, provide for us. They make enough that we can live very comfortably, and I think I know, like, we are privileged compared to those.
We are.
Compared to even some of our own friends, and sometimes you don't realize that, and when you look back and you really take some things for granted just because you're so used to having it. But there's those that would, just be in awe if they had the lives that we had. And I really need to look at that and realize just, how lucky I am, and just be thankful for all the hard work that my parents put in to get us to this point. And so now it's like I'm trying to step up my work ethic as far as, going into work, so that way I can make more money and depend less and less on my parents. I think, I already pay for my own stuff like gas and, anything that I enjoy like Spotify, but it's not like I'm paying these huge monthly expenses compared to other people our age that are already paying rent for apartments.
Yeah, we are very privileged because of our parents.
Mm-hmm. And that's not like to knock them, because I want to do that for my kids. I want them to be able to live a life pretty easy to start off with.
And I think it just gives us a better opportunity to give an even better life to our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm very thankful. I am. It's just like I did want to work at that time period. I understood why. Like, my parents didn't want me to.
Yeah.
But at least now I think they realize that I'm able to handle working, because I felt like they thought I was in too many things, and then on top of school and grades, they didn't want me to be too stressed out.
Yeah.
So I'm just thankful that they did give me that opportunity. But it's also, I didn't want to be so dependent on them because they had given me all these things my entire life.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy. No, yeah, I think it's once you figure out that good balance of, this is when I'm going to do school, this is when I'm going to work, and this is when I'm going to have free time to hang out with my friends or just do something that I enjoy about myself.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes easier, the work days don't last as long, it seems like, because you're just looking forward to those times where you can chill and do the things that you enjoy the most.
Yeah, and I will say that's another thing, because I did train 2 people for the cashier, like to do the cash register.
Yeah.
And I feel like because I did that and my managers trusted me to, I feel even better like going to work because they know I can do my job. And I guess that was just something that I was worried about. Like, they thought I couldn't. And then now, like, there's 2 other people doing it, and I have like more days to just relax.
Yeah.
And like hang out with my family or my friends, and so it's nice.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is. Man, well, I was gonna say something else, but I don't remember. Cause we started talking about work, and I was like, shit, yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know where you could have been going. My
Yeah, no,
next
I
topic
don't.
was working out.
Oh, for real? Oh, that
Yeah.
was gonna be the dogs.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so as y'all have probably heard throughout the episode, Chewy's little growls and stuff, begging for attention,
He's
and
such
then,
a
but
baby.
yeah, I know he is. Or Flaco, my pug, his little breathing
He's like,
every now and then. Um, Man, Chewy's been going through it recently. He's developed kind of a skin allergy, like eczema for dogs, and it wasn't really. I mean, I think there's things that we could have done to prevent it from happening for a little longer, but the vet was pretty much like, it's inevitable that he's going to develop a skin allergy because bulldogs are prone to it. So it's like all you can do now is lessen the effects of it, make it much easier for him to bear, because I don't know, it's crazy. He had an ear infection that we hadn't noticed, so they treated that. The ear infection is gone, and now we're doing things to kind of work around that, not wetting his head or anything, or doing anything of that matter. We'll get like a damp cloth, kind of swab his ear a little bit very gently, and doing things like that. Or like right now he's scratching himself, and that's because of that skin allergy that he has. And in order to alleviate that, I've switched brushes, so now I'm using a soft bristle brush as opposed to the metal comb that I used to use to groom him. And man, they must be thirsty. He's licking my cup. They've been upstairs for a while because they're working on our floors downstairs. But yeah, so other than that, and then he's in his paws, he's been licking his paws, and we didn't know like why. We thought he had like an infection. It is just because of the skin allergy. Like he's got dry skin, and so he's licking them constantly to try and alleviate kind of that irritation that he has. And so now we're giving him like a treatment every day for his paws, and we're kind of doing all these extra things, and in a month's time we'll see if they're really working. But man, he's been going through so much, and I feel so bad. Like as an owner and as like his primary caregiver, I feel like I've let him down. But I mean, the vet assured, because my mom and my brother took him to the vet because I was busy at the time, and they said that the vet assured us that it wasn't our doing that caused this stuff to happen. It was inevitable just because of his breed and because it's been so hot outside lately. So I'm just doing my best to alleviate that irritation that he's having and just make him feel better. And then our pug Flaco, man, he hasn't had a single problem. He's a mix. He's a mutt. And so I swear, mutts are the healthiest dog breeds ever because they're just so the thing with purebred dogs, right? The reason they're called purebred is because you're kind of keeping the bloodline the same. You're using dogs that are related at some point down the line to make them, right? To keep them the same looking. And so they are prone to have issues at some point in their lives. And then you look at Flaco, pugs do have a lot of genetic issues, but he's mixed with what I think is a rat terrier. And so because he has that mixed DNA, his mother and father are different, he has a less chance of inheriting those dominant genes that cause those health issues, right? So now, he's probably the healthiest pug I've ever seen, right? And Chewy is also a very healthy bulldog. I've seen bulldogs in much worse condition than him, but he's got some issues that are arising now that we're going to have to really start taking care of and staying on top of. Flaco hasn't had a single problem at all. This man is the healthiest ever. And so that, makes me feel good that I don't got to worry about him as much and a little less stress on me for sure.
Yeah, well, I didn't even think about that. Like, I know what a purebred is.
Yeah.
But it's like actually going into the details of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
It is crazy. That's why like there's a lot of people that are very much opposed to like purebred dogs. They're like, mutts are healthy, go the mutt way.
Yeah.
But people obviously there's a status to be had by having a purebred dog, right? Because mutts very much are like the I guess the lower end, if you could call them that, of dogs. All right, and we're back. Man, we had to take a couple breaks here during the podcast. I apologize about that. I went ahead and let Chewy and Flaco outside for a second because they seemed a little kind of cooped up in here. It's because they've been upstairs for a few hours now, and they haven't been allowed downstairs because they've been working on the floors. But there's a little bit of shade now outside, so I went ahead and let them outside. Once we're done with the recording, we're gonna go ahead and fart around with them for a bit and brush them out. I think Chewy's just feeling a little
They need
weird.
some playtime, I think, too.
Yeah, so we'll go outside and play with them here in a second once we're done with the recording. But yeah, so back to what I was talking about Chewy. What did I leave on again?
I think you were leaving on the part where people are like, mutts are the way to go.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know, crazy stuff. Honestly, dog breeding, just the whole idea of it is bananas. Like people make lots of money off of them, off of the purebred title, and so I don't know. Or even like adoption. People are like adopt, don't shop or whatever, right? And I think I agree with that to an extent. There's people definitely want a certain type of dog, and some people can only handle a certain type of dog. A lot of times dogs that are in shelters aren't the type of dog that I think some people can handle. You definitely have to be ready for a shelter dog, because I mean, if you're lucky, like Flaco, sweetheart, I mean, the nicest dog ever, gets along with every dog, and once he really warms up to you, he'll get along with any person. And so we got really lucky with that. But there are some shelter dogs that obviously have been abused or been abandoned, and
yeah, they need a little more attention.
they do. They need a special type of love and a special type of caring that I don't think some families are ready for. And that's what you got to realize. Like with that whole adopt, don't shop, some families just can't handle them, but they do want a dog. And then people will be like, oh, well then, you just don't deserve a dog. And I'm like, well, no, like they can't really help that their previous owners weren't nice, right? And obviously they still want a dog because dogs are amazing and a really good addition to the family. And so, some people just can't go that route. And I think that's what people got to understand, like we bought Chewy, but we also adopted Flaco. Flaco is a rescue dog, and Chewy was bought, and we raised him as a puppy, right? And both of them real nice, but you could definitely see the differences in the two.
Yeah, especially their personality.
Yeah, the personalities are very different. So I don't know. That's just something you got to be ready for. And I support adopting, because it is very saddening to hear like how many dogs are euthanized a week because people aren't adopting. But it is also, you got to think about like when people, if you don't buy, then that market, like the breeders market, right? Because people will breed to sell. If they don't sell, then they're just gonna be thrown into a shelter, and then it's the process will continue. So it's like one party has to stop what they're doing for a while. You know what I mean? Like the breeders would have to stop breeding for a long time, and then we would just have to adopt, or we would have to get to the point where every single dog that's ready to be adopted is adopted, and then breeders can start back up again. You know what I mean?
And I think it's just gonna be a continuous cycle.
It's a never-ending cycle. It's not gonna end. Like I don't think anytime.
I don't think at all.
Nope, not at all. There's like not enough families out there that are ready to have a dog that can sustain the amount of dogs that need to be adopted or even bought. It's crazy. It's an oversaturated market, if you will. Little economic lesson there. But yeah, shit. Taking care of Chewy, all his fucking problems. I love him, but he's got a lot of stuff going on that can be tedious at times. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but at least you have the time to actually help him.
Yeah. There's another thing too, just making the time to do all that stuff for him. Like I've been meaning to take them on walks. I used to be real good about taking them on walks every other day. I was doing that for about 2 weeks consistently, and I just fell off. It's just been hard because now that it's so hot, I can't take them on a walk for the majority of the day because it is way too hot for them. So I either have to wake up stupid early so I can take them when the concrete's not hot, or late at night when the concrete has cooled down and the sun's not like beating, Yeah. So it's really hard to make the time to do that at those two time periods. Like I think in the morning there's not much going on, but it's just that I have to wake up, because by the time I wake up, it's time to go to the gym. I'll wake up at like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And I need to get my body used to waking up at like 8 or 9 so I can take them out on like a 30-minute, 20-minute walk and get their exercise in for the day, because they both are slightly overweight. And
Nah, just a little.
Yeah, just a little, but it is like, they're both of their breeds are overeaters, and I guess like we thought we were feeding them the correct amount, but I actually remeasured and we were feeding them just slightly enough. So over the course of this past year, they gained the weight to put them to that overweight mark. And so it's not like it happened all at once. It was just us slightly overfeeding them, and then just throughout the day, like me or my grandma or anybody would kind of throw them like pieces of food. So we stopped throwing them
snack.
pieces of food. I can tell that has gotten them a little kind of like, what the fuck, you know? But we're like, I'm sorry, like you can't have any, y'all are on a diet now. And now we're feeding them like the absolute precise correct amount. And they are definitely hungry meal to meal. And
they will. Flacco used to wait to eat, and now he goes right into the bowl.
Yeah, he was like super timid, but now, yeah, he'll tear it up. It's crazy. But I think they're on track to being healthier, happier dogs. And, just hope that they turn out fine. Mostly Chewy. Flacco's doing fine. Just Chewy. Just hope that he can kind of get over all these allergies and hopefully feel better. Because he's been, and I think too it's because the floors are being redone. There's just a lot of things that are kind of changing right now. And the layout of the house is very much different. I think they're just very thrown off at everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of change at once, and nothing has really changed, at least not this drastic, in y'all's house.
Yeah, so I think they're just really thrown off, especially Chewy. I feel like he's really suffering the brunt of it because we've been keeping him upstairs a lot, and he was very excited at first, but now he's kind of like, can I go downstairs? And I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. They're walking back and forth with some stuff that I can't have you in the way of,
Yeah.
And, usually I would just put him outside, but it's too hot right now to put him outside. Like during the winter, I'll throw him outside and I won't feel bad. I'm like, it's, cool, not hot. And they have the doghouse and stuff to go under or go into in order to stay warm. But then as far as like right now, it's super hot. Right now they're outside, and knowing Chewy, he's probably not in his doghouse. He's underneath this hitch trailer that we got in the backyard. And he likes to sit under there because it's shady and it is much cooler than it is being in the direct sun. But I mean, the air is still hot and humid. And so, yeah, I can't keep him out there for more than an hour without him, really starting to feel it. So I don't know. It's crazy. The summertime is always a tricky time with them too. But yeah. Crazy stuff. How you feeling though about this episode, this new setup, babe?
I think it's really nice. I like looking at you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're facing each other
now. Yeah, the previous episode we were not looking at each other, and it was kind of hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it feels good. I enjoy it, and just excited for the future episodes, and I hope you guys are too. I think it's about time we can wrap up this episode. What do you say, babe? Got anything else you want to talk about, or?
No, but speaking of the dogs, I think it's a San Antonio Animal Care Center.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can, go and volunteer.
Oh, yeah.
We're planning on volunteering. I think they said there's a certain group of volunteers that they need.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to go and click the link and stuff just to help the dogs and play with them and take them outside of the actual shelter.
Yeah, they have different ones. So there's one like you'll walk them around the shelter, you'll play with them, or cleaning their kennels because they need volunteers for that too. So like when they take the dogs out, that's like an opportunity for them to clean the kennels. So
yeah,
if they happen to have an accident inside, we would take care of that, or just brushing away shedded fur, keeping it nice and tidy and clean for them to chill in until hopefully they get adopted.
Yeah, and there was actually one that I wanted to check out. It was like you take them out of the shelter if you have a car and stuff, or you're like recommended to have a car. I don't know if you'll get the position if you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually take them to like the park. They said you can take them to your house, or even to get like a puppuccino from Starbucks. Like they recommended these little things because
crazy.
These dogs aren't used to having humans around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like aggressive, and I'm sure that some are, but
there's definitely, yeah, like I really want the opportunity to approach those aggressive dogs, just because like I've dealt with aggressive dogs, and Chewy at one point or another has been aggressive himself. Mm-hmm. And I just want to approach them, because all it is that they're feeling neglected, or they are at one point or another were abused, and so like in Chewy's case, he was getting aggressive because we were neglecting him at a point, and this was before we had Flaco, so it was just him, and we were busy, and he started being aggressive, and we were like, why is that? But we weren't giving him attention. And a lot of those dogs in the shelters that are aggressive, either they had a bad experience with humans in the past, or they're just neglected, which is most likely the case.
Yeah, and so that's the program that I was looking into.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they said they needed more people for that, because a lot of people want to go in there and like walk them.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a lot of people for that, but they don't have a lot of people that are willing to take them out.
Yeah, I mean,
and these dogs need to see the outdoors, or when they get adopted, they're not really gonna know how to handle it.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I didn't know they had that. I'd be down to. I am down to do that. There's just gonna be a lot of fur, because I have no doubt that pretty much every single dog in that shelter sheds, and I have like a little shed protector seat cover. For when I take my dogs out, and shit, yeah, we'll definitely do one at a time there. That's gonna be a lot of fur.
But yeah, so I just wanted to say that because Julian and I were looking into it. But if y'all are able to also do that.
Oh yeah, really good volunteer opportunity, I think. If you're an animal lover, dog lover, cat lover, anything like that, definitely take the opportunity to go and help other animals.
Yeah, that was the only other thing I wanted to say, just because we're talking about dogs and stuff.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. All right. Closing statements. So make sure to go follow us on our Instagram at livewithjm. Same as our Twitter at livewithjm. All lowercase, no spaces. Make sure to share. Make sure to follow. Like the pictures. All that. Give any advice. Anything of that matter.
Or if you have a specific topic you would like us to talk about.
Yes, exactly. Let us know. DM us, comment on one of our posts, anything of that matter. And then another thing, in our link in our bios on Instagram and Twitter, you can find our show links as well as our affiliate links. Our affiliate links, you can get an unlimited or 1 month free on an unlimited hosting plan with our hosting site Podbean. Great opportunity to get into podcasting and kind of get your foot in the door before this market becomes a little too saturated. So other than that, anything else you need to add, babe?
No, I think I have said everything that I need to.
All right. Well, we hope that you guys are looking forward to the changes that we mentioned in this episode as much as we are, and we will catch you in the next one.
Bye.